excuse me, when I moved into the rectory, word got around among the priests that I like to dabble in cooking. So guess who became in charge of the kitchen? It's really funny, though, because if they can't find anything, Jim, where's this? But the whole idea is that, how much of our lives revolve around food and cooking and asking people to dinner, could we do lunch? Or, there's a blood drive, and of course, what do? They announce there's cookies available as you give blood. So food is important. And, when you talk about that, it does play an important role in our lives. But also, if you look at food, you can cook the food, plop it on the table, and everybody will be fed. But there's a certain grace and quality of how we prepare it. And one of the things today is that Jesus said, "You are the salt of the earth." When we put salt on things, the proper amount, it enhances the flavor. Now, if you're on a salt-free diet, obviously you can't take it. But I've learned over the years, just the proper seasoning helps bring out the best of food. It gives it a little bit more quality, taste, and it enhances what you're serving. Of course, if you ever had something that was too salty, we gag. Because, too much salt makes it taste terrible. And also, if it goes bad, the salt doesn't really go bad, but what they're talking about is if it gets caught with dirt and everything like that, then that's where it's bad and gets trampled and put away. But, when you think about it, Jesus is asking us to be the salt of the earth, to bring out the best that we can be. And knowing in his society that salt was very valuable, the people understood that. The Roman soldiers got paid by being weighed with salt. That's why the term, he's worth his weight in salt. So salt was very important. It was very rare. Heck, I found out recently that it costs more, the package costs more than the salt we buy in the store. Package it. That's how readily available it's become. But you know how it enhances? What makes salt important is that it's used properly. It brings out the best in each and every one of us. It calls us to add something valuable to the world. This parable is a continuation of the Beatitudes. Remember last week we were called to live the Beatitudes, to be peacemakers, to be children of God, to spread the good news of the gospel, to reach out to our brothers and sisters. That's what salt is about. To welcome people, to bring out the best in them, and to make sure that life is preserved in such a way that each and every person is treated with dignity and respect. And then, if you're going to set a table, you can set the table, put the dishes on. But when it's a special occasion, how many of us put candles on the table to make it light? Now, the candles don't make any difference in the food, but it does give us a sense that there's something special about this. So when we are light to the world, we're telling people that we are bringing the light of Christ to you in such a way that we make your situation more comfortable, more pleasing to the eye, and we know where we are going when we use light. We can see where we're going. And if we're going astray, we can use the light to bring us back to where we can be. So, we can serve the meal, we can put the salt and pepper on the table, but there's a whole idea of how we present it. One of the things I've learned from one of my little cooking stuff is that you can throw the stuff on the table, but sometimes color, presentation, laying out, plating as they call it, can make all the difference in the world from us just as food being served and really being cared for. That's what salt and light is about. I care enough about you that I'm going to do everything I can to bring out the best in you, which hopefully brings out the best in me, and that we can be light so that we can lead each other to the light of the world. And the best thing is, as a result, people have hope. And that's what it's about. So, get out there and cook properly, salt with generosity, and be the light to God's people. And that will make all the difference in the world.
Thank you for joining us for this celebration of the Mass. This virtual Mass is broadcast to hundreds of people every day of the week. You know, over 100 years ago, the very first celebrations of the Mass took place on the second floor of the Glenview Public House. It's been inconceivable that 100 years later, we would be reaching so many people all over the world through this technology. If you'd like to support the ongoing broadcasts of OLPH's Masses, please go to our website, go to Give Central, and you'd be able to support the ongoing outreach of this virtual ministry. Thank you for your support.